Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Well, I just woke up from my morning nap and it's supposed to be thunderstorming and just nasty as all get out here. But as you can see, it's freaking beautiful. So, I decided to go ahead and venture out here for a minute and see what we can get into. Come on. So I'm digging out stuff in the garage here and just rummaging around, seeing what kind of stock I have, what kind of metal stock I have that's scrap that I don't have any intentions of doing anything in particular with. And here's what I come up with. I come up with a bunch of this 1.5 inch round pipe, an old bed frame, this old piece of angle iron frame that my friend's pit bike came in. It's all rusty, real cheap angle iron. And I came up with this big old piece of particle board. And I'm thinking to myself, what can I do with that will actually help me out? And I think I have a plan. As you can see, I have no work. I don't know if you can see or not, but every inch of workspace I have is cluttered up with crap. I just got so much stuff that's ridiculous. I don't have enough room to organize it. If I organize it, then I can't find it when I need it. And it's so I don't have a work table I can use. My little work table I normally use is way back there in the corner, and it's just cluttered up with stuff so much that I don't have any place to put that stuff. So needless to say, I need a work table. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to start chopping that bed frame up and see what I can come up with. So I went to grind out these rivets on this bed frame, and just so I could have the angle iron left over. And digging through my little bucket of grinding wheels and accessories, I found that all I had was crap. My flap wheels were all wore out, and my grinding cutting discs were all worn out and broken. And this was actually the best one I had, and you can see the centers of it all broke out. Not worth a dang. And I don't know how that happened. I must have hit something with it. And anyway, so I knew I had one of those old chop saw blades that had gotten too small somewhere, and I've done this before. And I take my old used chop saw blades and put them right on my grinder, and it is huge. And when you feel it, when you take off with it, and you got to really watch out because it'll want to get your hands, you know what I mean? There's just not much clearance there. So I always wear gloves when I do this. Of course, I got the guard off, and you see how much it sticks out there. But I tell you what, for cutting them rivets and stuff off, it really gets in there. And when it takes off, you really feel the torque because it's carrying more weight. But it works like a champ. So don't throw your old chop saw blades away. They always come in handy. Actually, I think that's a chop saw blade that comes on like a circular saw. That's a 7 inch. So that didn't come off the chop saw. That's one that goes like on a skill saw. Anyway, they work good on there. That's my point. Alright, hear that little hoot owl in the distance? Anyway, here's what I got so far. Chopped that bed frame up, and using the pieces that I have, I had to trim this board down just a wee bit. There we go. Had to trim this much off of it just because the lengths wouldn't allow for that to be there. So I lost 1.5 inches of board there. But I have chopped out my corners. See if I can zoom in on that. See how I chopped out my corners so I can weld them. And that will allow the angle iron to lay flat so the board won't be, you know, wanting to rock inside the frame. That's going to be the frame for the top. And also, the way it is, it's upside down right now. After it's all welded and stuff and put together, it'll actually be flipped over, and there'll be a little bit of a lip all the way around it to keep nuts and bolts and stuff from rolling off, which I may hate that and I may love it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But worst case scenario, I could always get a thin piece of sheet steel and put in there and have a regular actual welding table, you know. But anyway, that's a good start. Plan is to cut up these pipes, make legs, use the remainder of the angle iron I have left over to make a frame similar to this one to support the base of the legs, and so forth and so on. So anyway, it's a project in works, and that's where I am so far. Well guys, it's gotten late. It's time for peace to fall in the valley, and I had to knock off all the noisy work. And I got my levelers for my feet done. I just took a 5/8 bolt, nut and washer, welded the nut to the washer. I will stick that up inside the pipe I'm going to use for the legs, weld them on, and then if I need to adjust the table level, I can unscrew the bolt or tighten it, whatever it need to be. So I got those done, and of course they got hot, and they're a little contrary, but they're going to be fine. They work. I got my bottom brackets made for my lower part of the legs support. They well, I got 3 out of the 4 done. There they are. You see how they're notched out? That way they can go up against the pipe. I'm not going to put them at the very bottom of the legs. I'm going to put them up, I don't know, a little bit, so I can maybe put another piece of wood in there and use it for a table and some storage, you know. I got them notched out like that. Got them marked which one goes where. I'm going to have to take 2 of the scrap pieces and weld them together to make one length that's long enough to go on the back. But that's fine. I'm going to do that when I get back at it. And I got one of the legs, the rust removed off of it. Somewhat anyway. Here's one that versus this. Just took a wire brush on the grinder and knocked off some of that extra scaly rust. I think you can see the difference. It's not like brand new, but it's a lot better. And I deburred them, chamfered the edges for welding, and I got the original frame all welded on all 4 corners. So I did get that part done. That wood kept catching on fire. I had to prop it up out of there. But anyway, you see it? Yeah, that freaking big old blade. Even with gloves on, it got me. And it got me a couple times, you know, but it's just a little minor nick, and that's why I wear my leather gloves. And that last time, I don't know if you can see that hole in there. There it is. I thought, oh, it got me. Oh, no, it's okay. And a minute later, I realized my hand was getting warm. I thought, oh, shit, that's got to be blood pooling up in there. Sure enough, I pulled my glove off, and it don't look real bad, but it don't look real good either. So, pulled the glove off and looked, and oh my God, big old nasty gash. I had to drop what I was doing, go in the house and get some first aid going on, you know. So anyway, I got the freaking sore thumb from the shop. You know how we all get those from time to time. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you do crap like that, because they'll get you. And anyway, that's as far as I got today. I gotta clean up all this mess and call it a day out here anyway. So anyway, it's gonna be a nice little table. Hang on a second, I'll spin this around and let you see it. Yeah, you can tell it's pretty dark. But it's like, what were those measurements? I don't remember right offhand. It's 43 by 33 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's gonna be a fair size piece, and it'll give me some place to work. And the problem is I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna have to leave it outside, man. You know, I'm gonna have to do something. This is getting out of control. But anyway, that's what's up. Well, you know how it goes. You just get started in a project and you realize your cutting blades are all crap. And so you try to make do and you cut your finger off. And then you take a break and you cut it out here the next day and you try to start over. Pick up where you left off. And you get ready to weld something. You realize one of your leveling feet that you made for your legs of your table isn't centered right, and you can't get the bolt to go through, so you cut it off and you get ready to weld it back up, and you know what happens? You run out of welding wire. So, you don't have any in the shop, so you got to go to town, and your car battery's dead. So you take the battery charger out there and hook it up and try to give it a bump start, and it's just so dead that it won't fire up. So you let it on charge and you set it aside. And so what do? You go out in the shop and you get out the Surfer and you go to O'Reilly's Automotive all the way across town and you pick up some supplies that you need. And here's what I got. I got the proper size cutting discs for my little grinder. I got one that's a 6-inch just because I wanted to try it. I got a new wire wheel, and I got a wire brush cup that'll both screw onto my grinder. And I needed a new wire brush for cleaning up my welds, and I'll show you why. There's the one I've been using. And I got a spool of flux core welding wire. 30 thousandths. I can't ever remember what I used last, 35 or 30. So 30 works. I've used it before and I like it because it's a little finer. It makes I get a little bit finer looking beads with it. And got a little bit of crap right there. Money, man. You guys know. I don't have to tell you. Suggested retail price for all that stuff, $105. With your O'Reilly's Automotive being customer friendly and everything, they give you a discount. $62.13. How's about that? Anyway, I got some gear. I can get back to work. So I got my legs de-rustified, got that surface rust off of them, and got my leveling feet welded on. Still got a little slag on there and splatter, and these cleaned off, but they're on there all the way around. So we're making progress. So yeah, guys, I forgot to tell you, while I was out getting that stuff a while ago, some guy offered to buy the Surfer. That was the first time that ever happened. I was a little taken back. Of course, I told him no. Not at this time, but made me think, you know, what would I want for it if I was going to let her go? He gave me his address, told me to come by anytime I wanted to get rid of it. How about that, huh? Makes you feel good. I got the legs on, tacked on there. Now I gotta square them up and put on the secondary supports and then weld it all up. Alrighty, there she is. I started off by making sure my little table was level all the way around. That way I could use my angle finders on the legs, and when I got a 90, it should have been level, square, with the world. And man, I was getting a 90 on it, and it was way out here like this. So I'm glad that I made these middle supports the exact same size as these, because then I could use my tie downs and pull it together on them and bring it in to where I knew that this point right here is going to be the same distance as this point down here. See what I mean? Follow that? So anyway, it's all spot welded together and whatnot, and it looks like crap, but that's okay. It's probably going to end up being used for a while and then broke down and cut up for some other project. But I'm going to clean all my tools off of it and flip it over and have a look. So, yeah. All right. About right. Yeah, that's about right. Let me show you this lip I got on there. You can see this little bit of a lip right here. Just enough to catch nuts and bolts stuff from rolling off, and goes all the way around. It's not bad. It's actually probably have more trouble with stuff falling in right there than anything. But yeah, piece of sheet steel would fit on there and this would hold it in place. That'll work. I can use that. Tough says, are you about done? Jeez, we've been out here all day waiting on your ass. He likes to know what's going on. Yeah, this looks like it'll work nicely. Now I can actually start cleaning this motor up. I showed you that motor before, haven't I? That one I got that yard sale last summer. It's a white outdoor 6.5 horsepower industrial plus overhead valve. It's actually Berg and Stratton, I believe. Yeah, it is. If you look real close, you can see the Briggs and Stratton insignia right there. A real Briggs and Stratton, 75 bucks. And it started as soon as I brought it home. They said it took it off a tiller, but the tiller broke. Which I got a tiller sitting right there that's crying for it. And Pat wants a garden. But, I don't know. I think I got other plans. Anyway, that table's going to work nicely. And I just wanted to show you that. Alright. I got to go, man. I got to go check on that car. See you, fellas. And ladies. Everybody. So anyway, that's that. And I need to clean up here and go out there and check on my car. I got my battery charger on it still, and see if it's taking a charge at all or if it's doing anything. And I think that battery may be dead. I was looking at it, and the label on it I think said November of 08. What is that, 5 years old, 4.5 years old? So that battery may be beat. It did that click click click, you know, like with the charger boost on it. With that off, it wouldn't do anything. So anyway, I need to go take care of that. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers, all my viewers. I appreciate you guys. And now I got a place I can work. I can start doing some stuff, huh? Right on. Alright, I'll see y'all. Take care.